Hello everybody, welcome to another game that I like, where once dragons and men coexisted. The dragons, they were alright. They were like, hey guys, wanna hang out? And then they shared a peace forged in wisdom, because they were wise back then. But then, they started to become stupid, and over lasting many generations, and then the stupid mankind decided to kill them all for some reason. And then this sudden onslaught happened, and there's these guys that's like, oh, well, fuck you then, said the dragons. And then men fought dragon in a savage war that shook the foundations of the world. It was quite the event. This war was called the Scoring, I think, as history teachers told me. Then they defeated and humbled the dragons. They were like, oh, fuck you then. Jeez, you didn't have to be such assholes about it, and they vanished from the realm. And then the man, they're just like, heh, yeah, we're cool. Not really. Dragons are cooler. And then they just spread their dominion across the land and the islands beyond. That was a while ago, by the way. Millennium has passed. And, wouldn't you know it, swords and shields and bows become a fire emblem of the game on Game Boy Advance. I'm gonna play this game forever, because I like it. Yeah, we have to do a new game though, which means tutorials. Whoops. I'll try and skip through the tutorials. I'm thinking I'm not gonna really do a lot of the story, because the story is good and you can get this, you can just get the ROM and the Visual Boy Advance thing of this. I don't care what my name is. I should have clicked yes and given myself a given name. But since I'm going to be skipping over the story and the dialogue, I'm skipping over the story and the dialogue because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't played the game. And everybody who has played the game knows the story, probably. So basically, this is a game where it's a grid-based tactics RPG style thing. I don't know what to call it. Turn-based RPG tactics with a grid map. You move your soldiers around the map and you fight the enemy and you win. Or you don't, which is what happens when you lose. So basically this part of the story, I suppose I should just introduce it. Lindis found you, the tactician, all by yourself on the ground, and you never find out why. And you are the guy who orders around the army that is the people with the story, and the characters are not boring. They all have characters. It's basically like, it's an anime or a manga. And every character, has a personality and can talk to other people. They have interactions between each other. It's not just like, here, have 5 troops. It's all different. All the troops that they have their own armor color. They have their own fashion sense, their own profile picture, their own personality, and it sort of makes it very personal. So when you don't want to lose any of them in the battle. And the cool thing about this game, if you didn't know, is that when somebody dies in your party or in your army, however big it gets, they die for good. Unless they're a main character. If it's a main character, you lose the game. If it's not a main character, they die and they're not involved in any conversations from that point on, which is sad. So most everybody who's ever played this game always resets when they lose a character, because the characters are just so cool, And I got this game when I was young. I got it on my first, one of my first GBA games. I got this and Pokemon Sapphire on one Christmas, and it was a very good time. It's a very day. Yeah, these tutorials are annoying, because you cannot skip them unless you've beaten the tutorial before, and since this is a ROM, I have not. Just telling me to use a healing item. I guess I could go over the story like briefly, like in the funny way I did the opening. Like, oh well, there's this bandit, right? And he's got a house, and he says, "Who are you?" And you can stand up to me, huh? I'm a beast. My name is Batter. Well, I'll fry you to batter. Yeah, that's not. Well, I'm already failing at being funny, so I'm just gonna forget about it. Phew, he's tough. It all comes down to this next blow. Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. If I fall, I want you to flee. Okay. There are different modes to this game, the story. You can play the story all the way through, and then if you win, you obviously win. Because it's a game, that's what you do when you play the game, you win eventually. Helicopter. So, what was I saying? You can play the game on easy mode, which is what it's on now, which is the first one, and then you can play on normal mode, or can you? No, this is normal mode, but it just has tutorials because it's the first time you're playing. And then you can play on hard mode if you beat the game. I probably won't get that far in this Let's Play because Let's Plays are long. So yeah, as you probably have been able to tell, it's turn-based. You move your character a certain number of squares, and the red is the area they can attack. So it's basically just like it's basically this, it's basically that, it's Fire Emblem. And I seized the castle, I've completed the objective, everything's great. I tacticianed Lyn to fight the beast. You have experience in the ways of war, I can see. Would you allow me to travel with you? That is my only voice for females. Oh, sounds like Mickey Mouse, but not really. What? You want me to get permission from my parents? Here we go. My mother and my father died 6 months ago. My people, they're okay. I'm the last of my tribe. Oh no. It's a sad story. I mean, when I first played this, I hadn't really encountered much of this tragic backstory characters things. I don't think I'd even gotten into anime and manga at all. This was like my first sort of anime manga experience. This story in this game. It was the first place that I found out about fan art, and that it could be sometimes sexual, and I was like, ooh. And most of it was gay, male on male gay, so I was kind of weirded out by that. But you know, I didn't mind so much. I guess I just sort of accepted that that's what girls like, or guys like. They like getting, because I never, what am I talking about? I found that some of the characters in this game, the men characters, are often sexualized to be in love with each other, and that was my first experience of that sort of yaoi, that's the word. Gay. And I was like, ugh, okay. But it was cool. I sort of got into it. Not the gayness, just the idea of fan art of characters. I tried drawing some of them. They were never very good. But I did get into a lot of cool things, like a lot of cool things. They're not cool at all. I was just sitting around and I was recoloring some of the sprites to make them different. You know?